Hey, it's Isaac here. So this video is over my CILTEP review, so let's get to it. Okay, CILTEP is a stack based around LTP, long-term potentiation. Now, this stack is meant to increase long-term memory, so that way you can study better. It's a study stack is what it is. Myself effects, I've noticed that for studying it does work very well. There's different variants of it for different people, depending on what your brain chemistry is, and diet also affects it greatly because we're messing with PDE4 inhibition, CAMP, dopamine system a little bit, depending on what it is for you. Some people, they don't really notice it on the basic stack, they have to modify. Some people don't get anything. Most people, though, do seem to get something out of it if they're willing to try and find what works for them. The stack is 3 different main compounds. Artichoke, which is the PDE4 inhibition. It's kind of a moderate PDE4 inhibition. A good replacement is Zembrin, which is complete PDE4 inhibition. The second compound is Forskolin, which is a CAMP increaser. We need that so we can help with the long-term memory. That is actually effective for we're doing the stack at say 2 to 4 milligrams is usually the amount that's recommended. You can go higher, but too much can have some negative effects. Third compound is usually needs some kind of stimulant because this stack can make you tired or sleepy because it increases LTP, increasing LTP and CAMP is actually a stressor in the body. Essentially, we're using a type of stress that increases LTP, is what's happening, long-term potentiation. And this makes you sleepy because different stress hormones and stuff go up. And to counter that, we have to take something to alleviate that because things often taken are caffeine. That's a big one. That's usually added right away. Alcar can be used. Alcar usually about, I think the math was 200 milligrams for every 1 milligram of Forskolin. That's the CAMP because we want those in a ratio. This is something Albert Lindsay, the creator of the stack, found. There is a product with everything that Albert Lindsay does support. It's on the BulletProof exec and the home site of the product maker or producer. Another energizing supplement commonly taken with it, which is one I still take even without the stack, is L-Phenylalanine. It breaks down into Tyrosine and 2 other compounds. Also supports the dopamine system, keeps energy levels up through various mechanisms. Another compound, myself, I like chocolate. Works really well because you got caffeine in there and theobromine together. Caffeine being a vasculator restrictor and theobromine being a vasculator, so they kind of even each other out. There's other compounds that can also be taken. I mean, I'll have a list below showing some different things people try. Nicotine, some people combine this with the stack, the nicotine antagonist. It seems to work very well for people, increasing the LTP effects, but it's a little unsafe because combining with this and the CAMP and everything, it can get a little toxic a little sooner. I think the LD50s actually technically might be lower from what I understand. I can't really be sure about that, but we had some people who were originally on the stack that stopped posting at the very beginning after trying the nicotine idea, patches and drops, pills. We were pretty sure they either died or they just stopped. We're not really sure, but we're not going to talk about that one. It does greatly increase long-term memory. It does help you remember a lot of things. Myself, I like Artichoke, just 500 milligrams. A Zembrin, I might even break it down in half because they're expensive. Combine that with Forskolin, either between 3 and 5 milligrams. Too much will make me tired. L-Phenylalanine between 500 milligrams and a gram. And maybe a cup of coffee. That seems to work really well with it. And do that for a month or so while I'm studying, and I learn things a lot quicker. And then I come off it because the long-term effects of this aren't really known. Neither are really short-term in a way. I mean, it's a new stack. There's no clinical trials or anything on it, of course. It's just we're doing polypharmacy is what's happening here. We're combining different compounds to try and cure something or alleviate bad memory, I guess is. But another thing I'd like to learn this is another thing. If you want to increase long-term memory, one thing I must note is Phosphatidylserine, which is just a brain oil in a way. Is I think one of the almost as good as CILTEP. I mean, not quite. For me, long-term memory it seems to work almost as good, if not better, than CILTEP. I mean, maybe it's only works as a third well or half as well as CILTEP for long-term memory, but there's no tiredness associated with it, and we know a lot more what's happening with it than we do with CILTEP. CILTEP is around a bunch of ingredients together. We think we know what's going on. We're fairly certain, but there's a lot of different mechanisms that we have different people posting about. We're trying to get it narrowed down a bit more, but we can't really know for sure. Oh, we do have studies on actual phosphatidylserine, so we know what's happening there. Phosphatidylserine for me does increase long-term memory. I feel more alert, more awake. Just recall, it seems to be a little better than CILTEP. CILTEP, I remember a lot better, but I'm trying to recall. It takes a little bit more to actually focus. Okay, when and where, how did I do this? And like, oh, yeah, there it is, found it. I have to actually think about where the memory is. With phosphatidylserine, it's more fluid. I look at something, I know the answer, it's there. Phosphatidylserine for me is better. Now, I actually haven't combined phosphatidylserine with CILTEP yet, but I will be doing that when I do my next studying period, which I'm really curious about that. I mean, I have phosphatidylserine in my stack right now, and I absolutely love it because it makes it also, phosphatidylserine can help with depression and a array of other things because phosphatidylserine is heavily needed in the brain, and depletions of create a lot of different cognitive deficits. So increasing that or optimizing the amount or making plentiful amounts available for your brain to use can create, well, some pretty significant effects. Now, for phosphatidylserine, in the studies, they used phosphatidylserine from cow's brains, but they eventually stopped doing or making because of mad cow disease. But now we get phosphatidylserine from soy, but phosphatidylserine from soy is not identical to that of actual cow's brain or humans. It seems to work just as well. Now, there's no specific studies I know of that go over phosphatidylserine from soy, but from effects I've experienced from it, it does seem to work, and those other reports online. What was recently brought up on the forum is that this stack kind of does mimic ADHD, which is why I actually started cycling and only taking it on occasion. So I hope you guys like this video. If you want to, go ahead and give CILTEP a try. It's an awesome stack. If you want to buy the product Albert Lindsay supports, go ahead. Myself, I'm more prone to go ahead and buy all the things individually and a couple of different compounds to try and different combinations myself and see what works. Just do what you want to do. It's an awesome stack. It's really good for studying. Now, day-to-day use, I must say, if you're just going to go out and about, you're not really studying, it's not really a stack I'd recommend. Albert Lindsay doesn't take breaks. He usually has occasional days off. He's the one who started this. Some people take weekends off. Myself, I must say, I like phosphatidylserine every day. That helps my memory greatly. And when I need heavy study loads, then hey, I got CILTEP. Which, for myself, I almost like Tulip for long-term memory as well. That also seems to help. But there's just optimizing your nutrition and getting your body as healthy as you can seems to help with everything. Wow, when you fix everything and optimize it, the effects you get, wow. But yeah, I'm really going to end this video, so if you like this video, have any suggestions, write those below, or personal message me, whatever. And I'll be sure to make you guys more content. As always, try to be the most optimal you can be, and Isaac out. And stay frosty.